Welcome back. You've joined a small group of riders from the H.O.G Auckland chapter. We're riding back to Auckland after spending a fantastic time at the New Zealand National H.O.G rally in Cromwell in mid-November. And on the way back, we're choosing this time to head back towards the east coast. We're going to make our way to Oamaru to spend the night. To get there, we're travelling along State Highway 85, a road which I've been told is a very enjoyable ride, and it's called the Pigroot. Now we're going to be picking up the ride. It's the section from Ranfurly through to Palmerston that this particular video is going to focus on, and for me that's where the ride got quite interesting. State Highway 85 up until that time, heading to Ranfurly, was, well, it was okay, it was unremarkable. We pretty much got some elevation onto some plains with some big straight roads, a lot of wind. We had some fierce wind gusts along this road. It was amazing. Really threw the bikes around despite the weight of them all. And we took a welcome break at Ranfurly, at which time I asked our ride leader, well, when does this Pigroot start? He said, well, we're halfway through. I said, oh, okay. Is that it? He wasn't very happy with me. So anyway, turns out from Ranfurly, the road transforms itself and it becomes really interesting, and that's what we're going to look at now. Now I do wish I could tell you a fascinating and marvellous tale about the origins of the Pigroot name for this particular stretch of road, which from Ranfurly to Palmerston, it's around about 77, close on 80 kilometres. And it is quite interesting. It descends through some ranges, I think they're called the Kakanui Ranges, and some other mountainous terrain, which we'll see as we're riding through. It gets a whole lot more interesting as we're travelling along than it was in the initial stages, for me anyway. And as to the origins of the Pigroot name, I'll leave that to much more qualified people than myself to comment on. There seems to be a lot of stories out there with no definitive answer, so I guess it's whoever tells the tale the best, they win the story. I won't even try to attempt as to how the name came to be. You can look it up online, Google it, you'll find 3 different answers. So what I can tell you is that the road is a quality of road that we're not used to seeing in the North Island. I can't remember seeing any potholes along this road, which is something of a miracle over any 5-kilometre stretch in the Auckland region particularly, or Northland, or pretty much anywhere in the North Island, and let alone over 80 kilometres of road. It's really in great nick. And the road, well, at least when we were riding on it, was not at all heavily trafficked. We pretty much had the road to ourselves, which was just a pleasure, so we could really enjoy riding without having to worry too much about other distractions like opposing traffic. Always makes it better. Being an atypical New Zealand country road, there's not a lot of shops or petrol stations along this way, so do make sure you got fuel enough to travel by. It's not a great long distance, but if you get caught short, well, you're going to have a long way even to find a farmhouse door to knock on to see if they might be able to help you out. But that also adds to the thrill of riding the roads of New Zealand, is having your low fuel load on and knowing you've got at least 50 k's to go before you can find the next petrol station, and just wondering how long you're going to make it, how long before you can keep rolling before you hear the last gasp coming out of the engine. So yeah, long distance touring ride isn't complete without having a few heart-stopping moments like that, and I had plenty on this trip. However, not on the State Highway 85 Pigroot. Now, scenery along the entirety of State Highway 85 is actually fantastic when I reflect on everything. You've really got a bit of everything. The road itself starts, if you're travelling in the, well, first northerly then southeasterly direction to the east coast. It leads you first of all through the Maniototo Plains, which, as I mentioned earlier, they are really like something else again that you don't really get to see much of in the North Island. They've got their own quality of viewing because you just don't see spaces like that easily, at least not in anywhere close to where I'm usually riding. And then we come to the section that we're riding now from Ranfurly through to Palmerston, where the scenery is amazing, particularly at this time of year that we rode, which was, what was it? Mid-November, mid to late November, where there's obviously been a bit of water around, so there's a lot of greenery in the hills. It's not dry and sunburnt like it looks on Google Maps. And the mountainsides, the roads, everything is just really, it's a visual treat. It's very enjoyable to ride through. So did the Pigroot live up to my expectations? And I'd have to say yes, absolutely it did. It exceeded them. I would love to ride this road again, and I'm sure I will. The thing I do differently the next time would be hit it coming from the other direction. It always puts a new perspective on things, and I'm sure it's just as much enjoyable ride when heading in a westerly direction as it has been travelling in a southeasterly route here. Now you can see we're kind of breaking through the hills and valleys, and we're starting to head into our first sign of civilization since we set off from Ranfurly, and that's heading into the town of Palmerston, where we stopped in for fuel at the Z service station before swinging our way to the coast. So that's where I'm going to leave it here. I'll wrap it up. Hope you've enjoyed watching this little taste of the Pigroot as much as I've enjoyed riding it with my fabulous ride home crew from H.O.G Auckland chapter. And we'll leave it right there. Take care out there, ride safe, have fun. See you next time.